So if you recently graduated college, maybe you just got a job offer here in Baltimore. In our video today, we're looking at young professionals and the best places for them to live here in the city of Baltimore. So if you are a young professional under let's say 35 years old, you're gonna wanna stick around because this video is specifically for you to help you find a great place to live in Baltimore. So stick around, we're getting started right now. What's going on, everyone? It's Adam Taylor back again with another video all about living here in Maryland. Today we're back in Baltimore and we're looking at the city of Baltimore and the best places for young professionals to live. Now, I've broken it down and I've got 7 great communities that I want to share with you. These are some of my personal favorites, and quite honestly, the demographic that I serve here on this channel, a third of you are under the ages of 35 years old. So again, we are really diving in, focusing on the young professionals and the best spots to live. So let's just jump into it and start out with community number 1. So the first community I want to share with you, it's one that I've mentioned numerous times here on the channel, and it's Locust Point. Now, there are numerous reasons I love Locust Point, but there are a few big ones that I really want to mention. Number 1 is the people in Locust Point. The only people you're going to find in Locust Point are really the residents of Locust Point and those folks visiting the Fort McHenry National Monument. You're really not going to find a lot of transient traffic because Locust Point is located on a peninsula in southern Baltimore. Now, the community is great. It's very, very walkable community, very safe community. As a matter of fact, Joel and I were actually out looking at homes here recently in Locust Point, and a young man had his daughter out walking with him, and you know what was cool to see? Because of all the crap that Baltimore receives and the stereotypes and the nonsense that we get living here in Baltimore, was a guy let his daughter run down the sidewalk and run back into the house and was just playing, outside. And that is so good to see because, quite frankly, yes, my friends, there are areas in Baltimore you definitely don't want to do that. But in my opinion, Locust Point is great for that. In addition to that, you've got some cool stuff going on over in Locust Point. I mean, you've got all this stuff over in McHenry Row. You can pretty much get your necessities like your groceries, your dry cleaning, your banking. If you want to grab some adult beverages over there, you can do that. There's some great places to eat over there. So it's a great spot for that. And then the last thing that I want to mention briefly here on this video is the convenience of Locust Point. Look, I mean, you wrap right around McHenry Road there, and before you know it, you have the access to Interstate 95. So whether you need to go north to go through the tunnel or head south maybe to go to the airport or maybe down to DC, Locust Point is a very convenient and sort of quiet spot. Now, let's not forget that neighboring Federal Hill, if you want to go out and enjoy some nightlife over there, you can do that with relative ease and grab a quick Uber on over to Federal Hill, and you're right in the thick of things, my friends. So I urge you to check out Locust Point. Look, if this is your first time to our channel and you're looking to learn more about life in Maryland, great news, you landed on the right spot. On this channel, we do videos about living here, working here, chilling here, and most importantly, getting out and enjoying the great state of Maryland, everything that it has to offer. So if you're interested in learning more, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to give the little bell a click. That way you're alerted every time we put out another video just like this one. Now, as I always say, my team and I, we are receiving phone calls, text messages, and emails from folks all over the world looking to make a move right here to Maryland, and we absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about making a move, guess what? My team and I, we want to help you. So please give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or fan us down with that smoke signal. Whatever you need to do, we have your back when making a move right here to Maryland. So let's just jump right back in and pick it up with the second awesome community for young professionals here in Baltimore. Now, community number 2, I'm gonna tell you in just a second, but I wanna urge you to stick around to the end of this because I am going to give you and sprinkle in a few new communities that I really don't talk a whole lot about here on the channel. So the first of those new communities is community number 2, and it's South Baltimore. Now, South Baltimore is essentially the area directly below Federal Hill in Baltimore, all the way up to roughly about Interstate 95 and as far east as Riverside. And what I'm seeing going on in South Baltimore, number 1, is a lot of development. Okay, they've put in apartment complexes, commercial buildings. There's so much going on and things are happening. Some great things, though, besides the development of South Baltimore, you've got ease of access to Interstate 95. Like I said, it butts up right to 95. You've got great restaurants. You've got awesome coffee shops. and just a cool community vibe. Now, one thing that I will say that I really do like about South Baltimore and neighboring Federal Hill is it really starts to feel like a neighborhood. You've got tree-lined streets, people out walking and running. Not that they aren't doing that in the other communities that I'm going to mention to you, but bringing the green stuff in to the communities really just helps it make it feel more of a homier place to live. Now, one of my favorite spots that I'm going to urge you to check out in South Baltimore is Nick's Fish House. If you want to get some good steamed crabs right on the water, you're going to be able to do it at Nick's, and it's just a fun experience, my friends. So go check out South Baltimore. Community number 3 is Mount Vernon. Now, there's so much cool stuff going on in Mount Vernon, and the Washington Monument is sort of the center of Mount Vernon. And it's a beautiful spot, and you can see some of the best views of the city when you take a tour and go on up into the monument there. There's a ton going on, especially around the holidays, that you can certainly enjoy. But you're a young professional and you're looking for things to do with your peers, I would assume here. So what can you do in Mount Vernon? Well, number one, you can get some great food. You can go to places like the Owl Bar, or you can go to the Prime Rib. These are fantastic spots to get a great meal. And then you can go on over to Hotel Ulysses. And my client Mike is over there, and he'd be more than happy to help you out with a great place to stay, and more importantly, set you up with an incredible meal at the Ash Bar that is part of the hotel. If you love the arts and you love music, you can go on over to the Meyerhoff and listen to the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra. If you love art in general, you can go to the Walters Art Museum. So my friends, look, these are just a few of the things that you can do in Mount Vernon, but it is a very amazing walkable community. There's a great vibe in Mount Vernon that I urge you to check out. Community number 4, my friends, it's Upper Fells Point. And I think this is a perfect spot for you young professionals. Here's why. Let's face it, you've probably heard about Fells Point and the nightlife scene in Fells Point. If you haven't, it is probably number 1, if not number 2, as far as the nightlife scene goes in Baltimore. The cool thing is, Upper Fells Point provides you the ability to walk to these places or just a short Uber drive, get your fill of fun, drinks with your friends, a good meal, and then you can head on back home in Upper Fells Point, where it's significantly quieter, and get a good night's sleep. Now, the fun doesn't end there, because what's cool about it, it's sort of centrally located on the eastern side of the city, and you're going to be able to go to places over in Canton and experience all that Canton has to offer. You'll be able to flip it on over and head west and go on over to the new things that are happening in Harbor East. Now, I want to urge you to check out Max's Tavern. It's a great spot to grab a good drink, and then you can go to Barcochina and get some amazing Mexican food. And if you're really up for it, and maybe you're just visiting town here and you're coming to check the city out, I'm going to tell you one of the best places to stay is the Pendry over in Fells Point. This place it's just amazing. Go look it up on Google. The Pendry Hotel, fantastic and beautiful spot to catch a night's sleep at if you are looking for a hotel accommodation. So my friends, I urge you, check out Upper Fells Point. Great place to live, reasonably priced. You're gonna find it's an amazing place to call home. All right, community number 5 for you young professionals, it's Federal Hill. Look, I can't mention Fells Point and not bring up Federal Hill. These are 2 of the bellwether neighborhoods for young professionals in the city of Baltimore. And it is a great spot to live. You've got all the conveniences of pretty much walking everywhere, getting anything that you need, whether it's groceries, a bite to eat, whether it's listening to nice live music, grabbing drinks with your friends, or the added advantage of being in Federal Hill is you have the ability to essentially walk to sporting events. In particular, Ravens games. It's a mecca for people to flock to, no pun intended here, during Ravens games is a place like Cross Street Market. It's an incredible spot, and my son, when I took him last season, he absolutely loved it and said, "Dad, when are we coming back again to experience all the good stuff going on in Federal Hill?" So you are sure to love it on over there. Now, some things I'm going to urge you here to check out. Number 1, it gets a little pricey in Federal Hill. It's one of the pricier spots, and you can find stuff on the low end around that $300 mark, but in reality, it's probably not going to be what you want. But as you inch closer to that $400,000 to $500,000 range, things start opening up for you. And the other challenge, and I said it earlier when I was talking about South Baltimore, the parking in Federal Hill is treacherous. And it just sucks, quite honestly. And finding a parking spot there can be extremely challenging at times. But there's a good reason for that. It's because so many people like Federal Hill and all that it has to offer. So in your home search here in Baltimore, I'm going to urge you, check out Federal Hill. All right, I'm going to take a time out real quick here and ask you, if you're finding value in this video, if you could do just a quick and small favor for me, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button down below. It's the one that looks like a thumbs up, just like this. By doing that, you're helping me out and keeping me motivated, keeping the wind in my sails to keep doing videos each and every week. And if you haven't, hit that subscribe button, the one that looks just like this one down below. Hit that subscribe button too. That way you're gonna be alerted, notified each time I drop another video just like this one, talking not only about Baltimore, but also the entire state of Maryland. And then lastly, comments. I want them. I want to answer your questions, but more importantly, I like having this YouTube channel to provide an open forum for folks that are locals to chime in and say, hey, why did my community make the list? Yes, I'm only going to provide 7, but there are so many other great neighborhoods here in the city of Baltimore. So if your community didn't make a list, don't take offense to it. Drop it down below and tell us why you love living in that specific community. And more importantly, those of you that are out of town and you have questions, my team and I will do our best to respond to you, but also the folks that live right here in Baltimore are going to jump in too, because we all help each other out here in Baltimore. It's a thing you'll get to know when living here. So with that said, let's jump back in and knock these last 2 communities out for you here. All right, community number 6. So I'm going to let you try and guess it. Let's play like a little Wheel of Fortune here. I told you about Fells Point. I told you about Federal Hill. Well, what's the other one that I'm going to mention? I mention it quite often here. It's Canton, okay? And Canton's a fantastic spot. You know, a couple things that I love about Canton. Number one is the water. You can run, go for a jog, even live right along the water. And if you have a boat, guess what? You have the ability to get a slip right in Canton and bring your boat and have it right out your front door if you really wanted to. It's a beautiful, beautiful spot to live in the city. But there are more things than just the water and bringing your boat into town here. I call Canton a great transitional neighborhood. And what I mean by that is this. You might be sort of teeter-tottering. Hey, do I want to stay in the city or do I want to get out of the city? Canton provides a great way to experience that because you have all of the modern conveniences of living in the suburbs right here in the city. Look, you've got places like Target. You've got a great Harris Teeter grocery store over there. Old Navy. I mean, your pet food stores. You've got a Sprouts that just went up not too long ago. I mean, all of this stuff is like within a block of, you know, it's right in the same shopping center. So you can walk and do all of those things right in one particular spot. So those of you that are pet lovers, not only going to love walking your dog right along the water, but you've got the Canton Dog Park over there. And then the last and final thing that I think you young professionals would really enjoy is a lot of the sports leagues that you have access to by living in Canton. You know, I'll go down there all the time showing property and see people out playing kickball in the fields right by the dog park. I mean, it is just fabulous. Or they're all hanging out at the rooftop pool at the Merritt Athletic Club, otherwise known as the MAC. So lots of fun, lots of great things going on right in Canton. All right, the last and final community we're going to talk about here today, and we don't have to go far. Matter of fact, if you're in Canton right now, just turn around and look north, and you're going to be looking at the community of Brewers Hill. Now, what's great about Brewers Hill is almost like it's Canton North, in my opinion. You get all of the stuff and access to all of the stuff that you see in Canton, and in reality, it's a little bit more convenient because you really don't have to fight with a lot of traffic that you may encounter, say, on Boston Street or deeper down in O'Donnell Street. Let's take my client Brian, for example. I helped Brian out probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, purchase a brand new construction home by Evergreen Homes in Brewers Hill. And for him, working over at Bayview, Johns Hopkins Bayview, that is, it provided a great spot for him to quickly get to work, but also stay right in the thick of things and enjoy his friend circle and be able to go out and do all the fun stuff that he wanted to do on the weekends by being very, very close to Canton. And you've got additional places to work out, to eat at on top of everything else that's going on in Canton. So look, my friends, I just gave you young professionals 7 amazing communities in the city of Baltimore to check out when making your move here. Now, if a move is in your future, guess what? My team and I, we want to help you out, but we just need one thing from you. That's for you to reach out and connect with us. So give us a call, shoot us a text message, send us an email, or better yet, schedule your Zoom appointment using the link down in the description below. That way, you and I, we can hop on a Zoom call, chat, see what I can do to help, and more importantly, help you find a great place to live and call home here in Baltimore. So without further ado, my friends, I'm going to sign off here, but make sure you check out this next video right here. It's your next step in learning more about living in Baltimore. Until the next video, my friends, take care, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.